Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It has been a few months since my last video, and you may or may not have known I was made redundant just before Christmas, and I've posted a few videos about that, and I'm still planning on filming some more videos on that topic, but I thought I would do another video today about my budgeting. I'm sorry, I don't know if you can hear that, but my cat is playing with the curtains at the moment. So I thought I'd do a bit of a brief overview over how I've budgeted whilst I was unemployed and just run you through those few months where I didn't have an income and how me and my partner navigated that period. And I just wanted to say that there is no right or wrong way to navigate that sort of thing, and that what the decisions that we made as a couple are very much down to our specific situation, and that doesn't always work for everyone. But I'll share with you what we did and kind of explain the reasoning behind that, but that might not work for everyone, so just bear that in mind. And I've just received my second salary for the job that I started at the beginning of March. So that's partly why I haven't been filming, because I've been trying to get back into the routine of working full time, and the job that I started is quite far away and we don't want to move at the moment, not until I at least pass probation, and my partner's also changing jobs, so there's just no point moving until things have settled a little bit. So for the short term, I'm going to have to just suck it up and get up really early on during the week, but it has meant that energy wise I don't really have the capacity to film content, but I've been wanting to do a budgeting one for a while because it seems to be the most popular of what I've been filming so far. So yeah, just to recap, I was made redundant just before Christmas, so I received my last paycheck from my last job. I think it was the 15th of December. I got a payment as part of my settlement agreement with my last job, so essentially like a redundancy payout. I talk a little bit about the benefits that you can apply for in my redundancy videos, but essentially I didn't have any money coming in whilst I was made redundant other than the New Style Job Seekers Allowance. What's nice about New Style Job Seekers Allowance, it's not based on income, so it means that anyone can apply as long as they've made the minimum national insurance contribution. So with that, I can't exactly remember what the exact amount that they pay you is. I will have to put it up on the screen. That roughly equated to just under £400 a month, and had I not got a job when I did, that would have gone up to this amount in April, so it has gotten better. But for New Style Job Seekers Allowance, you can only be on that benefit for about 6 months. And thankfully, I was able to get a job within about 3 months. I got my last payment from my job. All in all, the money that I took in December was £2,705. And I also had some side income from our flatmate who's contributing towards the rent. And that meant that the total for December was £2,926. My partner and I decided that to prepare for the worst case scenario. So we as a couple did not anticipate either one of us being made redundant. So we did not prepare an emergency fund for situations such as these. So it meant that we had no real buffer or savings to go towards rent. And that was a big kind of shock. It was a life lesson for us that we need to prioritize having an emergency fund in case something like this ever happens again. So we're looking at it as a lesson instead, trying to take the positives out of something that wasn't nice, especially at the time. But essentially, because we didn't have an emergency fund at the time of me being made redundant, we decided that the money that I got from my settlement agreement and the last of my salary from my last job, we would split that across 6 months. Just worst case scenario, in case I didn't get a job within those 6 months, and my partner would make up the rest. And just to reiterate, that was based on our finances, and that might not work for everyone, but that's just how we decided to do it. So during that period, I still paid for things that were mine, such as my cat. So that still came out of my direct debits. And I still had energy bills to pay for the house that I own without my partner, and car insurance. And for that month in December, I paid my partner £177.32, and that was just for that month. And then in January, the money that I received from New Style Job Seekers Allowance, and I was able to claim back holiday days that I hadn't taken from my last job, as alongside the rental income. I had a total of £1,315.70 for January. And again, likewise, I paid out for all the things that were mine personally. But this time, the money that I paid my partner was £400 to try and contribute towards the rent. And you can see that in the periods where I was unemployed, so that was between December and up until the end of February, I dialed back a lot on things that were wants. So we didn't put anything out on eating out or experiences, or at least I didn't. And same with holiday and savings. That was all paused, and you can see that all the rental income ended up going into our emergency fund, because it really taught us that we really should have an emergency fund before we think about even trying to do anything else like investments. And for February, the money that I was taking in, and at this point it was only New Style Job Seekers Allowance, that was a total of £391.51 and on top of that we had our flatmate, and I was able to make some extra money that month from selling stuff. So all in all, for February, the total money that I had coming in was £677.21. And similarly as the previous months, while I was redundant, I was contributing for things that were my personal bills. I started putting money in for petrol because I passed my driver's test at the end of January, which I was very relieved about, because I felt like getting a job completely relied on that. Similarly, like my own personal bills. So I've kind of gone through all of that before. In March, that was when I started my job, and that was a very thankful timing, because it was nice to be able to actually get a more significant amount of money in. So for that month, I think, because when you start a new job, it's not quite settled in terms of how they do your tax and national insurance contributions. I think it's kind of going to be a little bit here and there for a few months until it sort of settles down. So very unexpectedly, I got a lot higher payment than I thought I was going to get. But for March, my total income was £2,649.34, and the total of the needs came to £1,332.02. And that month I was obviously able to start contributing the full amounts for everything. I was able to start paying into once again, so that came up to £327. And I was able to start putting money into savings and investments, and that came to £550.70. And I'm paying off my debt slowly, so that was £114, and I still continued to pay that whilst I was unemployed, just because otherwise I won't pay it off in time. So again, lessons learned. My most recent salary came to £2,015 and 64p. As you can see, it is lower than last month, so I think until it settles, I won't fully know what my monthly salary is and what money I have to play with. I was quite conscious from my last month's salary that it might not be the same, so I didn't budget it all completely. So I had money left over. My needs came to £1,487.87. My wants came up to £277. The debt is £114. That is it for my monthly salary for April. We now have prioritised making sure that we at least have like £3,000 or £4,000 in terms of emergency fund, and we as a couple have decided what criteria needs to be met before we can take money out. So it could be things like if one of us is made redundant, or let's say we have a unexpected car expense, things like that. But yeah, we've slightly reduced our spending in electrics now that the weather's gotten better and we don't have gas in this house, so I don't have to worry about gas. We've kept food the same. That seems to work out well. I'm now having to put in money every month for petrol now that I have passed my driver's test and am driving to and from work. So yeah, we shall see how this plans out. My kind of longer term goals are to sort out my pensions, because currently I have 3 or 4 pensions spread out over the place. So in terms of my financial goals, that would be on the list to sort out. We are not planning on going abroad this year, but we are planning on going camping. So what was being put in holiday is now being put in experiences. And we were fortunate enough that over the last bank holiday weekend, we were able to go camping, and that was really nice, just for a couple nights. And yeah, so we've got our emergency fund now. So I have been able to put in money to my investment account, and I use Trading 212. That's it for today. I am still wanting to do more videos on what it was like being made redundant and that period of being unemployed, and how to apply for things like New Style Job Seekers Allowance, and what sort of steps I took to make myself new job ready, including how to prepare for interviews and things like that. I'm hoping that I can discipline myself to find a nugget of time where I can film some content. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and yeah, let me know in the comments if you have any suggestions, or if there's anything that you do that you think is a good idea. I'm always open to suggestions, so really welcome that. One thing that was really nice was my last budgeting video. A few months after it was posted, someone that I follow for budgeting content actually commented on it, and I was really happy. And yeah, I've had a lot of really lovely comments from people on my last budgeting video and also my redundancy video, so that's been really nice to hear, and I'm really, really thankful for everyone that's watching.